Hi, Jamie here again. Hope you're having a great day. As I said before in the previous video, I just want to give you a little bit more information to help you on your journey of creating teaching online. And so today I want to talk about is finding the production formula that works best for you. I'll show you my formula. It doesn't mean the formula that you choose, but it is so important to be thinking about things like pre-production, all the different things that take place before you even do any recording. And then the actual format when you are recording to put it in, it's going to make you so much more confident and efficient once you have that formula. So I'm going to go through and show you the tools that I use for it, and I'll dive behind the scenes in Camtasia. I'll show you a finished video that I have there and kind of talk through where you can kind of see the formula. And if you look at any of my videos, I follow the same thing, because then I can sit down at my computer, create them very efficiently, making sure that I have my knowledge in place from setting things up in the pre-production, and then just be able to create content and feeling very good about it. So anyway, let's dive into this with creating your production formula to get a little bit more into teaching online efficiently. So one of the main reasons that I don't spend a lot of time editing video and having to record for hours and hours and hours, like I said, I only probably put in a given week anywhere from maybe 2 to maybe sometimes 8 hours a week if I have a really big video that I want to create, and I know I'm going to be doing a lot of research and I want to make sure I get everything right. But a lot of times I can narrow this down to like 2 to 5 hours and create my video for the week, and that includes even my research to it. But the research, so when I say research, this is where I'm talking about pre-production, and it is so important, such an important part of your production formula. So this is where, now I have OneNote open here, and this is just a productivity tool I use. It's free from Microsoft. You could be using something like Google Keep or so many different tools out there. I even have my notebook down beside me, and I'm always jotting down ideas on that, or into my phone. That's all connected with the apps also. But I'll put my ideas down when I come across a certain video that I get an idea. I might be writing it down. You can kind of see these are just different examples that different ones I'm thinking about, or maybe somebody's reached out and asked me to make a video on, and then I start putting my notes inside each of the pages as I go through. You can see some I haven't put any to it. These are some older ones. This is one of my older notebooks that I was working on. But you can use other tools. Now, when I get into the week, though, let's say I've picked my video that I want to do, what I like to do is during the week is kind of break it down find my topics of that video and break it down into chunks of how I would want to film it. So I'd probably look at it and say, okay, what's 1 or 2 minutes that I can talk about this, or 1 or 2 minutes I can talk about that. You don't have to be thinking about 10 or 20 minutes all at once, and that could scare people away. Break it down into chunks. And when I show you kind of behind the scenes in a few moments with Camtasia and how I break it down with the cuts, I'm always thinking about that, breaking it down into small chunks. So you could be filming during the week. Maybe if I said, oh, could you create a 2-minute video on something, or 1.5 minute or 1 minute video, that doesn't sound too scary. All you have to do is take those 5 2-minute videos and put them together in editing, and you have a 10-minute video. So you break down those 2-minute chunks. The nice thing is with those 2-minute chunks is that if you mess up, they're easy to do over again too. So it's just kind of my format that I would kind of suggest, is making sure you spend the time on the pre-production, making sure you know your topic, write your notes that you want to have on it, whether maybe you have slides if you're going to be using a presentation tool, or if you're going to be using scripts. Everybody will maybe do it a little bit differently when they do their get to the recording formula. For me, I don't do notes. I like to kind of just break it down in those 2 chunks and kind of solve a problem at a time as I go through, and how to do this. But anyway, so that's my start of how I do my pre-production and my research and break it down. Let's jump into now behind the scenes, how this might look. And I'll show you this in Camtasia, but you could be using other video editors software too to see how to put it into chunks and kind of put your formula so you get everything very efficient. So I just want to talk about format for a bit here. And so I've opened up one of my old videos here about free video editors, and I just kind of want to show you what I mean by format in something that I've edited. And I'll just do a little walk through Camtasia so you can see it. If you haven't used it before, you'll get a little bit of an understanding here too. So with format, when I create my videos, I kind of do the same thing every time. I have my introduction, I have a little intro that I put, and then I kind of break down my video into kind of small chunks. And I just want to mention that for me, that works really well because I can kind of focus at maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes at a time. And then it's easy to redo those parts if I want to. But if I was going to do a long video all at once, not to say you can't edit out mistakes and everything, I just find when I'm doing really long ones, those weren't as efficient, and I didn't worry about little jump cuts in it if I did 2-minute chunks as I transitioned into different parts. So let's just take a look at the timeline here. I'll just get my head out of here and just kind of explain to you. So inside Camtasia here, I'm just going to grab the playhead, and as I bring it in, you can see this is the intro part that I was talking about here, and I'm just dragging my playhead. So I always do my intro about what the video is about. And then as it goes through, any graphics, so these are graphic overlays that I put on top of my video that I've already prepared to put into it. And as I go along, you'll see I have my intro. This is my quick intro. If I just hit play, you can see it goes through. It's very quick, about 3 seconds long. And so all my videos kind of start the same. I do that intro. Then I have my little intro video here of my teacher's tech. And so I know right away that's part of my format, and it just makes things easy knowing that that's what I'm going to do. And when I do my introduction at the beginning, it makes me more confident in knowing what I'm saying because I've already said kind of similar things in a format, and it just gets easier and easier each time. And then if I move my playhead along, you can see as I go through any of these parts on it, you can see where the cuts are here. If I zoom up, you can see that there's a cut in each chunk as I move through my playhead. As I jump to different parts, there will be just different cuts that I put in, and they're not even that noticeable when there's a jump cut. So if you're in the same position like I am sitting in here, you can easily cut things out and fix things very, very quickly in editing. Now, I'm showing you in Camtasia. Whether if you're using a different editing program, the concept would be still the same. Get your format. So if your format, for me, it's having my introduction and then my intro, and then I get it into the chunks of how I want to set it up. Now, each video, I know it's going to be like that. And like I said, I break mine down into these 1 or 2 minute chunks, and I put them together depending on how long of a video that I want. And I have purpose of how long I want to make each video. Maybe I'll explain that a little bit more in the next video to help you about, especially with dealing with YouTube and different things. But do find your format. This will make you so much more confident when you know what you're sitting down. You already know what the end result, what you have in your mind, what it should look like, and you're just kind of filling in the pieces. So I like to kind of consider this a formula that you're working with, and you're just filling in that formula to fit, and things get so efficient after you start to do this over and over again. You're just doing your research prior that I talked about. The pre-production is so important because you want to know your stuff. But if you can break these things down into 1 minute and 2 minute intervals, you can always go back and check your notes to see, to double check or have your notes down, and you can edit things out by putting other overlays on top of yourself. But that's just a big tip that I have. Start to know your format, your formula, and you're going to see how quick you can produce your videos and how good good they get will just increase dramatically. So you've created your great content now and you want to share it? Well, stick around for the next video where I dive into kind of YouTube and how I go about uploading my videos to making sure that they're going to be seen and then I can grow on YouTube.